We are ready to begin. Oh, excuse me. Before we start, I unfortunately have to go over the rules of decorum again in these chambers. They are posted, and the people need to be seated, and when there's time to come up to the dais, they may come up to the dais. There may be no outbursts. When it's your turn to talk, that is fine. So we will need you to sit down, and please do so now.
Why?
We're not going to fight today. Please sit down as you're asked. Thank you very much. All right, we are ready to begin. Thank you very much.
We're in the rulemaking process. The state has already conducted public hearings around the state. I attended 2 sets of those hearings. They were exceedingly well attended. I can't say, I've never been to, I thought I'd been to a lot of different meetings. I've never seen a meeting that well attended.
So we're going to have a lot more people having marijuana available on a regular basis. And so that means more people have the munchies. So that means more people will be eating foods that will put on pounds. And the Department of Public Health is saying we need to reduce our obesity rates in this county, and that has a detrimental impact on longevity, quality of life, and on healthcare costs. So we have a perfect storm of disaster before us, where we have the need to reduce our healthcare costs, and then at the same time giving out something that will potentially increase our healthcare costs through obesity.
We'll have to act within our own resources right now. It'll be a while before the money starts flowing from the state.
So that is a concern to me. You know, we don't have enough money right now for child immunizations. And so now we have a choice. Do we give children immunizations, or do we pay for people to choose to smoke marijuana? And that's a pretty easy choice for me, but I don't know how other people are going to feel about that choice. Lethargy. Okay, so marijuana, lethargy, that means when you smoke marijuana, you get really, really tired. And you don't want to do anything. Not that I know, no. It happens. I used to help run around drug rehab. So how are we monitoring that? Because obviously if we've got a population now that's going to have more access, they will be more lethargic, not wanting to get to work, and then we'll have more people wanting the social services. We have people here from the ACLU who I was able to hear Allison Holcomb speak a couple of weeks ago, and was immensely impressed with the value of the information she gave us and the depth of her knowledge. But it was so full of knowledge that I thought we should all hear it again.
Some people would open dispensaries, storefront operations that were providing medical marijuana to multiple patients. And we're getting around what most of us thought designated provider meant by saying, well, I can be a designated provider to patient A at 8 a.m., patient B at 8:15, patient C at 8:30, because that's at any one time. And I'm speaking as a former criminal defense attorney and saying to myself, I would have a hard time putting that defense on in front of a jury with a straight face. But okay, Godspeed, my friends. Well, Mr. Shoup he was in Spokane. He was running the Change Dispensary, and Mr. Shoup was arrested and charged with multiple counts of manufacturing and delivering marijuana. The Court of Appeals overturned Mr. Shoup's conviction on a number of grounds, but one of them was applying the rule of lenity to the interpretation of at any one time. And the Court of Appeals specifically said that, absent anything saying otherwise, the statute as it stood at the time that Mr. Shoup was convicted said that only one patient at any one time can mean one transaction after another so that each patient gets individual care. So essentially, as long as there are not two patients at the counter at the same time, you're okay. That's when we were in session with Senate Bill 5073. And in 5073, we'd sort of tried to close this loophole on at any one time in the definition of a designated provider. In fact, during the campaign, the biggest opposition that we had were medical marijuana dispensary operators saying that setting a DUI standard is going to hurt patients, and in fact, people actually drive safer when they're using marijuana because they drive slower.
So these are very complicated public policy issues that are before us, and potentially very expensive at a time when we don't have the money to be doing that. And so it makes it very difficult, as Councilmember McDermott said. We've made good public policy choices to use our dollars in such a way that we don't waste jail beds for more serious things, and now we are in this situation. So this is very, very complicated with, as you said, immense social public policy issues to be looking at, and it's going to take a long time to do that.